theme is social justice and the rule of God. Typically, our more liberal denominations have been concerned about social justice, but all believers ought to be concerned about it because God is. Should not take the place of the preaching of the gospel and the rule of God. Social justice is taking a stand against things that are done in society that are damaging to people or demeaning to people. Prejudice is a social injustice. Every society has prejudices, every one of them. No matter where you go, if you stay there long enough, you're going to find the prejudices of that society. You know what prejudice is? It's a way that people function in order to feed their pride. Do you know what that? Let me explain that. Yes. When you have an attitude toward another person or people group, it is an expression of pride that says, in order for me to feel exalted, I need to put someone else down. And so it's a false sense of exaltation because I have pressed someone down to get that feeling. In this culture, it's Haitians. In my culture, it's Mexicans. Americans don't like the fact that Mexicans are coming across the border and doing illegal. Now, they like the fact that they work cheaply. But we can't have it both ways, though. It is a social injustice. And if we're going to say, well, they need to abide by our laws, which is a true statement, right? Mexicans need to abide by American laws. Anybody that immigrates into another country needs to abide by that country's laws. But at the same time, you must treat them like fellow human beings, especially the people of God. Now, you don't be surprised when worldlings act like worldlings. That's what they do. But what is surprising is when the church acts like worldlings. Well, it's not really surprising, but that's social injustice. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's look at Micah. Micah 270, page 271. Brother Mock has us 5 different sections of the book. Those are okay. It's a good thing you're not going to have to remember them. But right in the middle of the book, chapter 5, verse 2, is a prophecy about Messiah. I like that. Right in the middle of the book, and it stands like a pinnacle. Beginning in chapter 5, verse 1, "Marshal your troops, O city of troops, for a siege is laid against us. They will strike Israel's ruler on the cheek with a rod. But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." Here is in the midst of a prophecy. In the midst of a prophecy about judgment, God also tells them that restoration is going to ultimately come through someone who's in the midst of that nation being judged. The reason I drew that to your attention is that funny word attached to Bethlehem, Ephrathah. Do you remember that promise to Abraham? Through you all the world would be blessed. Remember that? What does the word Ephrathah mean? Well, in your NIV Study Bible, you have a footnote there that tells you to check out Genesis 35:16. Do you see that footnote? Somebody turn to Genesis 35:16. Can't get away from Genesis, can we? Wait till everybody finds it. I want everybody to see this. Genesis 35:16. Okay. Somebody read it now.
Then they moved on from Bethel. While they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty.
Okay, now skip down to 19.
So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem.
Okay. Ephrath is a synonym for Bethlehem. Why is it important? Because obviously when Moses recorded that, the name of Ephrath had been changed to Bethlehem. Now when Micah records it, he sticks both of those names together, and it is a subtle suggestion of the covenant to Abraham. At the time of Abraham, Bethlehem was called Ephrath. Do you get the subtle suggestion that Micah puts those two names together? Eventually, the name of Ephrath was changed to Bethlehem, but Micah puts them together. But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, out of you will come forth though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel. You get the contrast? An insignificant town, out of you comes a great ruler. And here's another contrast, whose origins are from of old. He's going to be born, but yet he didn't begin living. He's been there before. His origins are from old, from ancient times. This is obviously speaking of Messiah. Even if it weren't quoted in the New Testament, you could probably put the pieces together in your mind. But it is quoted in the New Testament, isn't it? Yes. Great passage. Back to the motif of social justice. Look at chapter 6, verse 8. Very famous verse. He has showed you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly. What does it mean to act justly? To do the right thing. Yeah. You know how we are prone to follow the crowd when we want to be liked by the crowd? Yeah, to do justly means you choose the right way even if you're the only one choosing it. To act justly and to love mercy. If there's a person in need, does it matter what color their skin is or where they were born? Does it matter if they're even saved or not? No, because if you show kindness to them, maybe they'll get saved. That's social justice.